Picture this. You pull a 5-gallon container from your porch in late November, tip it over, and out tumbles nearly 4 pounds of fresh, aromatic ginger, enough to last your kitchen an entire year. Sounds impossible? It's not. Most container gardeners make 3 deadly mistakes that kill their ginger harvest before it even starts. But by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to avoid them. And I'll reveal a bonus trick that lets you replant and harvest ginger forever. Stick around because this changes everything. Before we dig in, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you never miss our proven gardening secrets. Trust me, you'll want to be here for what's coming next. Now, ginger isn't like tomatoes or lettuce. It's a tropical root crop that loves warmth, moisture, and patience. But don't let that scare you. Thousands of gardeners in zones 3 through 10 are growing ginger successfully in containers, and you're about to join them. I'll walk you through every single step. We'll cover selecting the right ginger rhizome, preparing your container and soil mix, planting for maximum yield, caring for your ginger through the seasons, and finally, harvesting and storing your bounty. Plus that bonus tip I promised that turns one harvest into a lifetime supply. Sound good? Let's get started. Step 1. Selecting perfect ginger. Head to any grocery store, Whole Foods, or farmer's market and grab organic ginger if possible. Non-organic ginger is often treated to prevent sprouting, which is the opposite of what you want. Look for plump, firm rhizomes with smooth skin. Avoid anything soft, wrinkled, or moldy. Check for eyes, little greenish bumps on the surface. The more eyes, the better, because each one produces a new shoot. Choose rhizomes at least 3 to 4 inches long with multiple fingers for a bigger harvest. If there are no visible eyes yet, place your ginger in a warm spot and mist it lightly for 1 to 2 weeks until shoots appear. Before planting, soak your rhizome in room temperature water overnight to wake up dormant buds and speed up sprouting. This simple trick boosts your success rate significantly. Step 2. Choosing the right container. Ginger grows horizontally, not deep like carrots, so you need a wide, shallow container. Pick a pot that's at least 12 to 14 inches wide and 12 inches deep. Width matters more than depth because ginger rhizomes spread outward as they multiply. Make absolutely sure your container has drainage holes at the bottom. Ginger hates sitting in waterlogged soil and will rot fast without proper drainage. Fabric grow bags work beautifully because they provide excellent aeration and prevent overwatering. Plastic pots retain moisture well, while clay or ceramic pots allow better airflow. A 5-gallon container is perfect for 1 large rhizome or up to 3 smaller pieces spaced properly. If you're in zones 3 through 7 where frost comes early, choose a container with handles so you can easily move it indoors when temperatures drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Step 3. Preparing the perfect soil mix. Ginger thrives in loose, well-draining soil, rich in organic matter, with a slightly acidic pH between 5.5 and 6.5. Never use heavy garden soil in containers because it compacts easily and suffocates the roots. Here's the winning mix. Combine 2 parts quality potting soil, 1 part compost or well-rotted manure, and 1 part perlite, coarse sand, or coconut coir for drainage and aeration. The final blend should feel light and crumbly in your hands, not dense or sticky. Adding extra compost boosts nutrients and encourages vigorous rhizome growth. Fill your container almost to the top with this mix, leaving about 2 inches of space from the rim. This soil recipe mimics ginger's natural tropical habitat and gives your rhizomes the loose, fertile environment they need to spread and multiply. Skip cheap potting soil. Invest in premium mix with organic matter for best results. Step 4. Planting for maximum yield. Now for the planting. Place your soaked ginger rhizome on top of the soil with the eyes or buds facing upward. This is critical because the shoots grow from these points, and planting them upward saves the plant energy. Cover the rhizome with just 1 to 2 inches of soil, not deeper. Ginger prefers sitting near the surface where it can spread easily. Burying it too deep invites rot. If you're planting multiple pieces in one wide container, space them 4 to 6 inches apart. Press the soil gently around the rhizome, but don't pack it down hard. Water thoroughly until it drains from the bottom, then place your container in a warm spot with indirect light. Soil temperature should be at least 70 degrees Fahrenheit for sprouting. Within 2 to 4 weeks, you'll see green shoots poking through. That's your sign that growth has begun. Step 5. Watering your ginger the right way. Here's the truth about watering ginger. Most beginners either drown it or let it dry out completely, and both mistakes kill your harvest. Ginger loves consistent moisture, but hates soggy soil. Think of a damp sponge, not a soaking wet one. For the first 2 weeks after planting, water lightly every 2 to 3 days to keep the soil barely moist. You're encouraging sprouting, not flooding. Once green shoots appear, increase watering to keep the top 2 inches of soil consistently moist, but never waterlogged. Stick your finger into the soil. If it feels dry past your first knuckle, it's time to water. In hot summer months, you might water daily. In cooler weather or indoors, every 3 to 4 days works fine. Always water at the base of the plant, not overhead, to prevent fungal issues. Good drainage is your best friend here. Step 6. Finding the perfect spot for your ginger. Location makes or breaks your ginger harvest, so pay close attention. Ginger is a tropical understory plant, which means in nature it grows beneath the canopy of taller trees. It loves warmth and bright indirect light, but direct scorching sun will burn the leaves and stress the plant. Place your container in a spot that gets 2 to 5 hours of gentle morning sun, then filtered shade or bright indirect light for the rest of the day. A covered patio, east-facing porch, or near a bright window indoors works beautifully. If you're in zones 3 through 7, you'll need to bring your container indoors once nighttime temperatures drop below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, usually by late September or early October. Ginger thrives in temperatures between 70 and 85 degrees. Keep it away from cold drafts, air conditioning vents, or heating registers indoors. Step 7. Feed your ginger for explosive growth. Ginger is a heavy feeder, especially during its active growing season from spring through early fall. Without proper nutrients, your rhizomes stay small and disappointing. Here's your feeding game plan. Wait until your ginger shoots are about 4 to 6 inches tall, usually 3 to 4 weeks after planting. Then start feeding every 2 to 3 weeks with a balanced liquid fertilizer diluted to half strength. Look for something like 10-10-10 or 5-5-5 on the label. Organic options like fish emulsion, seaweed extract, or compost tea work wonders and won't burn your plants. As your ginger matures in late summer, switch to a fertilizer slightly higher in phosphorus and potassium to encourage bigger rhizome development. Stop fertilizing completely about 4 weeks before your planned harvest date in late November. This signals the plant to focus energy underground where you want it. Step 8. Watching for early growth signs. Within 2 to 4 weeks of planting, you'll spot your first green shoots pushing through the soil. This is the most exciting moment for any ginger grower. Those shoots will look like tiny green spears, and they'll grow surprisingly fast once they start. By week 6, you'll have lush bamboo-like stalks with long, narrow leaves that smell faintly spicy when brushed. This leafy growth is critical because it's photosynthesizing and sending energy down to build those fat rhizomes underground. Don't be tempted to dig around and check on the roots yet. You'll disturb the developing rhizomes. Be patient. Ginger takes 8 to 10 months from planting to full maturity for the biggest harvest. The foliage will eventually reach 2 to 4 feet tall depending on your growing conditions. Healthy, vibrant green leaves mean healthy rhizomes are forming below. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing amazing so far. Your ginger is planted, watered, fed, and growing strong. But here's where the magic really happens. In the next section, I'm going to walk you through the summer growth surge, how to handle your ginger through seasonal changes, and the exact signs that tell you your rhizomes are ready for that massive late November harvest. Plus, I'll share a trick that triples your yield next season. Don't go anywhere. Drop a comment and tell me, are you growing your ginger indoors or outdoors? I want to hear from you. Step 9. Dealing with common early problems. Even beginners can troubleshoot ginger problems if you know what to look for. Yellow leaves usually mean overwatering or poor drainage. Cut back on water and make sure your container is draining properly. Brown, crispy leaf tips signal underwatering or low humidity. Increase watering frequency and mist the leaves lightly every few days. No shoots appearing after 4 weeks? Your soil might be too cold. Move your container to a warmer spot above 70 degrees. Ginger rarely suffers from pests, but occasionally you might see aphids or spider mites on indoor plants. Spray them off with water or use insecticidal soap. Root rot is the biggest killer, and it happens from overwatering in heavy soil. If your plant suddenly wilts and smells musty, you'll need to unpot it, trim away rotten sections, and replant in fresh, drier soil immediately. Prevention is easier than cure, so always err on the side of slightly drier soil. Step 10. Maximizing summer growth. Summer is ginger's power season. From June through August, your plant channels maximum energy into building thick, branching rhizomes underground. During these months, keep soil consistently moist, never letting it dry out completely. High humidity helps too. If you're in a dry climate like Arizona or Nevada, mist your ginger leaves every morning or place a tray of water with pebbles beneath the container. The evaporation creates a humid microclimate. Continue feeding every 2 weeks with that balanced liquid fertilizer or compost tea. You'll notice explosive leaf growth and stalks may reach 3 to 4 feet tall by midsummer. This is exactly what you want. More leaves mean more photosynthesis, which equals bigger rhizomes. Don't prune or cut back foliage unless leaves turn completely brown and dead. Every green leaf is working hard to fatten those roots you'll harvest soon. Step 11. Protecting your ginger through seasonal changes. As summer shifts into fall, your ginger care routine shifts too. In zones 3 through 7, you'll need to move your container indoors before the first frost, typically by late September or early October. Ginger can't survive freezing temperatures, and even a light frost will kill the foliage. If you're in zones 8 through 10, you can leave your container outside year-round, though growth slows in cooler months. When bringing ginger indoors, choose a warm room with bright indirect light, like near a south or east-facing window. Keep indoor temperatures between 65 and 75 degrees. Reduce watering frequency as growth naturally slows in fall. The soil should dry out slightly more between waterings now compared to summer. Stop feeding completely by mid-October. This signals the plant to finish maturing the rhizomes rather than pushing more leaf growth. Step 12. Recognizing harvest-ready signs. Here's how you know your ginger is ready for that late November or early December harvest. Watch the foliage closely. When leaves start turning yellow and brown and stems begin dying back naturally, your rhizomes have reached full maturity. This usually happens 8 to 10 months after planting. If you planted in February or March, late November is perfect timing. About 2 weeks before you plan to harvest, stop watering completely. This allows the soil to dry out, making the rhizomes easier to dig and reducing the chance of rot during storage. The dying foliage might look sad, but don't panic. This is completely normal and actually desirable. The plant is redirecting all remaining nutrients into the rhizomes underground. You can also do a test dig. Gently brush away soil from one edge and peek at the rhizome size without disturbing the whole plant. Step 13. Proper storage for long-lasting freshness. Fresh ginger stores beautifully if you do it right. For short-term storage up to 3 weeks, wrap unwashed ginger loosely in a paper towel and place it in a partially open plastic bag in your refrigerator's crisper drawer. For longer storage, up to 6 months, freeze ginger whole in an airtight freezer bag. You can grate frozen ginger directly into recipes without thawing. Another method is drying. Slice your ginger thinly, arrange pieces on a baking sheet, and dry in a low oven at 150 degrees for 2 to 3 hours until completely crisp. Store dried slices in an airtight jar. You can also grind dried ginger into powder using a spice grinder for homemade ginger spice. Never store fresh ginger in airtight containers at room temperature. It will mold within days. Keep it cool, dry, and ventilated for best results. Step 14. Troubleshooting harvest disappointments. What if your harvest is smaller than expected? Let's troubleshoot. Small rhizomes usually mean insufficient growing time. Ginger needs a full 8 to 10 months minimum. Harvesting too early gives you baby ginger, which is edible but tiny. Not enough width in your container restricts rhizome spread. Remember, go wide, not deep. Insufficient feeding during the growing season starves the developing roots. Feed consistently every 2 weeks from spring through early fall. Too much direct sun stresses the plant and diverts energy away from rhizome growth. Ginger prefers bright, indirect light, not full blazing sun. Overwatering causes root rot and kills sections of rhizome before harvest. Keep soil moist but well drained always. Learn from this season, adjust your approach, and your next harvest will be exponentially better. Growing ginger is a skill that improves every single year. All right, we're in the home stretch now. You know how to grow ginger from start to finish, but let me share some pro-level secrets that'll make your next harvest even bigger. Plus, I'll answer the questions I get asked most often. Let's dive in. First, let's talk about boosting your yield even further. One trick professional growers swear by is adding a layer of mulch on top of your soil once the shoots are about 6 inches tall. Use organic materials like shredded leaves, straw, or coconut coir. Spread it about 2 inches thick around the base of your plants. This keeps the soil temperature stable, locks in moisture, and slowly breaks down to feed the rhizomes. It's like giving your ginger a cozy blanket that also delivers nutrients. Another game changer is using mycorrhizal fungi when you plant. You can buy this at any garden center. It's a powder you sprinkle on the rhizome before covering it with soil. These beneficial fungi attach to ginger roots and dramatically increase nutrient and water uptake. Gardeners report 20 to 30% bigger harvests just from adding this one ingredient. It costs a few dollars and lasts for years. Here's something most beginners don't know. You can actually do a partial harvest if you're patient. Around month 6 or 7, you can carefully dig around the edges of your container and snap off a few outer rhizomes without disturbing the main plant. This gives you fresh baby ginger for cooking while letting the rest continue growing until November. Baby ginger has thinner skin and a milder, almost citrusy flavor that chefs love. Just be gentle and don't disturb the central root system. Now, let's talk about pest prevention. Ginger is naturally pest-resistant because of its strong oils, but if you're growing indoors, fungus gnats can become annoying. They don't hurt the plant, but they're a nuisance. The fix is simple. Let the top 2 inches of soil dry out completely between waterings. Fungus gnats breed in constantly moist soil. You can also add a thin layer of sand on top of the soil. It dries fast, and gnats can't lay their eggs in it. One more advanced tip. If you live in zones 8 through 10 where winters are mild, you can grow ginger year-round outdoors and harvest multiple times from the same plant. Just take what you need and leave some rhizomes in the ground. They'll keep producing new shoots season after season. In colder zones, bringing containers indoors turns ginger into a perennial houseplant that you can harvest from for years. Let me answer the top 5 questions I get about growing ginger in containers. Question 1. Can I grow ginger indoors all year? Absolutely. Ginger actually does great as a houseplant if you give it warmth, humidity, and bright, indirect light. A south-facing window works perfectly. Just keep the room above 65 degrees and mist the leaves weekly. Question 2. Why didn't my ginger sprout? Usually, it's because the rhizome was treated with growth inhibitors, or your soil is too cold. Make sure you're using organic ginger and keep soil temperature above 70 degrees. Patience helps too. Some rhizomes take up to 6 weeks to sprout. Question 3. Can I use ginger that's already sprouting in my kitchen? Yes, that's actually ideal. Those green shoots mean the rhizome is ready to grow. Plant it immediately, and you'll see faster results than with dormant ginger. Question 4. Do I need to add lime or adjust soil pH? Not usually. Most quality potting mixes are already in the right pH range for ginger, between 5.5 and 6.5. Only test and adjust if your ginger shows signs of nutrient deficiency, like yellowing leaves, despite proper feeding. Question 5. How much ginger will one rhizome produce? It depends on size and care, but on average, one good-sized rhizome planted in a 5-gallon container will give you 3 to 5 pounds of fresh ginger after 8 to 10 months. That's easily a year's supply for most households. If this video helped you, do me a favor. Hit that like button, share it with a friend who loves gardening, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're building a community of home growers who are taking control of their food supply one container at a time. Drop a comment below and tell me what you're growing next. I read every single one, and I love hearing your success stories. Remember, that container of ginger you plant today becomes a harvest that feeds your family all year and keeps giving season after season. You've got this. Now get out there, grab some ginger, and start growing. I'll see you in the next video, where we're tackling another crop you can grow in tiny spaces with massive results. Until then, keep growing, keep learning, and enjoy that fresh homegrown ginger. Happy gardening!